The easiest way of being rich. Victor Thompson was a man driven by ambition. He hailed from a humble family background in a small town where life seemed stagnant, and dreams rarely went beyond the town's borders. But Victor had always dreamt big. He wanted wealth, and he wanted it fast. In his quest, he pursued several ventures. From trying to invest in stock markets to launching his own startup, he left no stone unturned. But every time he tried, he was met with hurdles that seemed insurmountable. Debt started piling up, and his dream of becoming rich seemed more and more distant. One day, Victor met an old friend, Daniel, from his college days. Daniel was now a renowned life coach and had traveled the world giving talks and seminars. The two decided to catch up over coffee. As they sat in the quaint cafe, Victor shared his failures and expressed his envy seeing Daniel's success. Daniel listened patiently and then asked Victor a simple question: "What does being rich mean to you?" Victor was taken aback. He thought for a moment and said, "Well, having lots of money, a big house, fancy cars, the usual." Daniel smiled and responded, "That's where you've got it all wrong. Being rich isn't about having materialistic wealth alone. It's about being rich in experiences, in love, in understanding, and in the knowledge of oneself." Victor looked puzzled. Daniel continued, "You're chasing after money, thinking it will bring you happiness. But wealth is more than just money. It's the richness of life that truly matters." To help Victor understand, Daniel proposed a challenge. He asked Victor to live a month without focusing on earning money. Instead, Victor would do things he genuinely loved, spend time with family, learn a new skill, or just take a moment to appreciate the world around him. Victor accepted the challenge hesitantly. The month that followed was transformative. He reconnected with his love for painting, spent quality moments with his family, and started a community gardening project. He felt an inner contentment he hadn't felt in years. By the end of the month, something unexpected happened. The community gardening project caught the attention of a national news channel, and Victor was offered a deal to expand it to multiple cities. The project not only earned him fame but also significant financial benefits. As the two friends sat down again at the same cafe, Victor had realization gleaming in his eyes. He understood that the easiest way of being rich was by enriching one's life with experiences and emotions. Materialistic gains followed when one pursued passion with genuine intent. Daniel smiled, happy to see his friend enlightened. Victor's journey had just begun, but now, he was on the right path. A path that promised not just monetary wealth, but a richness of life. Speaking with Father John. Lila Jenkins was in her mid-20s and at a crossroads in life. Having recently lost her job due to company cutbacks and gone through a tumultuous breakup, she felt a profound sense of emptiness and directionlessness. She had begun to question the very purpose of her existence. Lila had tried different ways to fill the void, reading self-help books, attending therapy sessions, even taking up new hobbies. But none seemed to provide her the clarity she so desperately sought. One evening, as she aimlessly wandered the streets of her hometown, she found herself in front of St. Mary's Church, an old Gothic structure she hadn't visited since she was a child. On a whim, she decided to go in. The church was silent except for the soft flickering of candles and the distant sound of someone playing an organ. As she sat in a pew, she became aware of a serene presence behind her. Turning around, she met the warm eyes of an elderly priest. "You seem troubled, my child," he said with a kind smile. Taking a moment to compose herself, Lila poured out her heart. She spoke of her struggles, her uncertainties, her pain. The priest introduced himself as Father John and listened with rapt attention, occasionally nodding or offering a word of comfort. When she had finished, Father John, after a thoughtful pause, shared a story from his youth. He spoke of his time in Rome, studying theology, feeling lost amidst the vast sea of knowledge and spirituality. He recounted the days when he questioned his faith and even considered leaving the priesthood. But it was in those moments of doubt that he found his true calling, by listening to his inner voice and trusting the journey. "What I learned," Father John said gently, "is that it's okay not to have all the answers. Life is a mosaic of experiences, some clear, some confusing. But every piece has its place. Your current pain and confusion are just pieces of a larger puzzle." Lila looked up, tears glistening in her eyes. "But how do I find my way, Father?" He responded, "By listening. Not to the noise of the world, but to the quiet voice within. That's where God speaks to us. And sometimes, it's in our most challenging moments that we hear Him most clearly." Lila felt a weight lifting off her chest. Speaking with Father John had not provided her with all the answers, but it gave her hope and a newfound perspective. She realized that it was okay to feel lost at times and that these were just phases leading her to where she was meant to be. She left the church with a lighter heart, grateful for the chance encounter with Father John. While the journey ahead remained uncertain, Lila felt armed with faith and the belief that the universe had a plan for her. And sometimes, that's all one needs to keep going. The memory of my mother. Every now and then, in the quiet moments of life, reflections of the past creep into Amelia's mind, bringing with them the soft, nostalgic embrace of memories. Most prominently, those of her mother, Clara. Amelia's mother was a force of nature. She had this incredible ability to light up any room she walked into, her laughter contagious and her spirit ever so resilient. Clara was an artist. Not by profession, but by passion. The walls of their old family home bore testament to her talent, adorned with painted canvases of scenic landscapes, bustling markets, and vivid portraits. Each stroke told a story, each color emitted an emotion. Amelia's fondest memory was of Saturday mornings. The house would be filled with the scent of freshly baked cinnamon rolls, her mother's favorite. Clara would be in the studio, lost in her work, with soft jazz playing in the background. Amelia would tiptoe in, watching her mother's deft hands create magic on the canvas. Sometimes, she'd be invited to add a few strokes of her own. Those shared moments of creation were a sacred bond between mother and daughter. However, life's unpredictability soon caught up with them. When Amelia was just 16, Clara fell ill. It was a rapid, aggressive form of cancer that gave the family little time to brace themselves. Throughout the ordeal, Clara's spirit never waned. She painted less due to her weakening state, but her love for art never diminished. One of the last conversations Amelia had with her mother was about the importance of cherishing memories. "Life is fleeting," Clara had whispered, her voice frail but eyes bright, "but memories, they're eternal. Hold on to them, and I'll always be with you." After Clara's passing, Amelia found solace in the art studio. It became her refuge. She began painting, not only as a tribute to her mother but as a means to cope, to heal. Over time, she realized she had inherited more than just her mother's artistic talent. She had her resilience, her zest for life, and her unwavering positivity. Years later, Amelia held her first art exhibition. The main piece was a beautiful portrait of Clara, surrounded by all the things she loved: paints, brushes, and of course, cinnamon rolls. The title of the piece was simple, yet poignant: Eternal Memory. Visitors were drawn to the painting, not just because of its aesthetic appeal but because of the emotion it exuded. Through Amelia's work, Clara's legacy lived on, touching the hearts of all who gazed upon it. To Amelia, her mother wasn't just a memory, she was a guiding light, a continuous source of inspiration. In every brushstroke, in every canvas, Clara's spirit thrived, reminding Amelia and the world of the enduring power of love and memories.